Hi guys, how you doing? Jeremy Scott here with another episode of the Re-Emerging Earth podcast. Out once again in the park and enjoying myself as always with a nice cup of coffee in my hands. And the weather today isn't great, as in it's a bit damp, but it's not raining at the moment. That's the main thing. Got my umbrella with me just in case anyway. So here we go, what I'm going to talk about today. And so yeah, just as a reminder, if you don't like background noise and things like that when you're listening to a podcast, this is a no frills podcast and you're going to get lots of that. So do most, if not all, of my recording out and about. Balance. That's what I'd like to talk about today. Being balanced. In the tarot cards, balanced is represented by the Temperance card, which is one of the major arcana. It's number 14, I believe, and it represents being balanced and non-judgmental. It can also be about being cautious, depending on the situation, depending on the other cards around it, if I'm being honest. That will indicate the actual meaning of the card. But balance in itself, what does that mean? Well, it could be, as in the Temperance card, weighing the scales. It could also be tipping the balance in your favour. It could be on an even keel, as I've already mentioned, being non-judgmental. Not kind of being judging situations or people because of what they're doing. And I think that's quite relevant at the moment, not only with world affairs, but for all of us. Because as humans, living a human experience, we do tend to be very judgmental of each other and of ourselves. And it's not a very good thing to have when you're trying to improve yourself, if you're always beating yourself up in a judgmental way. So, best way is to remain balanced, to stay on that even keel, even footing. But how do you do that? One way is you can actually control your thoughts. And I don't mean saying things like, well, this time I'm going to think this and this time I'm going to think that. No, I don't mean control in that way. However, you do have a choice as to which thoughts you want to focus on at any one time. Whenever thoughts come up and you focus on them, that's when you can start going down rabbit holes. And those rabbit holes, just like in Alice in Wonderland, can lead to fun things, but they can also lead to a lot of negativity, a lot of not so fun things. When you think about the Queen and off with their heads and stuff like that, it can lead to a lot of challenges. Now, in law of attraction, they say that your words create your thoughts, generate the feelings, and those feelings attract in what you experience in your life. And there's a lot of power in that, because it's true. And one example is, for example, you're talking or thinking about ice cream. You create the words ice cream. You immediately have the thought, I'd like to have some ice cream. That generates the action, and when you have the ice cream, you feel a lot better because you've enjoyed your ice cream, and creates the feeling. And maybe you attract another urge to have more ice cream. I'm sometimes like that with chocolate biscuits, but hey. So yeah, you can control your thoughts in the sense of you decide which ones you're going to focus on and which ones you're just going to let slide away. Which ones are you going to give your attention to? and which ones are you going to ignore? There's a bit of a myth in meditation, for example, where many say that you've got to clear your mind. But obviously that's nigh on impossible. Even the Tibetan monks don't clear their minds completely, or others who are meditation gurus. They're not empty heads in that sense, because we're always thinking. We are thinking beings. We are created in that way, in this human form that we have, to be thinkers, because through thinking we create the reality, the stories that we live. So these Tibetan monks, they may ignore their thoughts and replace it with chants, but they're still meditating. So you, in meditation, can simply choose the thoughts that you want to focus on whilst you're meditating. And if those thoughts are in line with what you're meditating about, then obviously you want to focus on those. If they're not, you just let them slide by. And I've learned that with mediumship as well, to differentiate between my imagination and the messages I'm receiving. I can tell the difference, whether that's coming from my own mind or whether that's actually coming from my higher self, guides, spirits, whoever. It's the same kind of process, and that way you remain balanced in your thinking, and in time, with practice, you become more balanced in your life. Because talking about judgmentalism or judgmentalization, whatever way you want to put it, when we see someone do something, we automatically react, don't we? If it's something that we don't like, or maybe we do like it, but we still pass a judgment on it, on their action, on their words, on their attitude, that kind of thing. And whether that's right or wrong is regardless, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. That's the word I wanted. It's irrelevant. The fact is, when we're judging others, in reality we're actually judging ourselves. And if that's the way you want to go, then you've got to accept the consequences of that. And certainly with the current world situation, with all the events that are going on, different parts of the world, not just in one particular area, we can get very judgmental, and that's why these situations arise, because of judging each other, judging each other's actions, thoughts, expressions, and all these kinds of things. However, if we were less judgmental and more balanced in our thinking, these situations wouldn't arise as often. I'm not saying they wouldn't arise, but I would say not as often as they do and have done. It's not easy being non-judgmental, I know that. Very easy to watch something on the news, read something or see something on social media, and you pass judgment. It's not easy. It takes practice. I'm certainly not there yet. I'm not saying I am judgment free, far from it. Not even when it comes to myself. I am not judgment free. It takes time, but I tell you what, I'm a lot less judging than I used to be, because now I'll stop and realise that I am. And it's the awareness that you are being judgmental that helps. Once you are aware of that, you realise that, then it's a lot easier to let it slide, let it move to one side, to drift by. Because a lot of these judgmental thoughts that we have are in our subconscious. It's because how we've reacted before to similar situations, similar words, similar things that have been happening in our lives. And our subconscious mind throws that up and says, oh yeah, you reacted then like that. I'm pretty sure that's how you want to react now, so it throws it up. Yet changing that program is a lot more difficult than we would like to give ourselves credit for. We think, oh, we can easily do that, or we might even think we can't. However, we can. It's not easy, as I said. It takes time, takes effort, and if you're willing to put that time and effort in, you can become over time less judgmental towards yourself as well as to others. And the secret is, I think, to start with yourself, because if you're less judgmental with yourself, you're going to recognize where you're judgmental or being judgmental with others. You're going to recognize where you need to change, or where you want to change, not need so much as want to change, where you can make changes. You become more aware. So let's have a go at that. Let's have less judgmental attitudes and actions. Let's be more loving and caring towards each other. Let's have more compassion. And when we do see, or we are involved in a situation where we're being judgmental about someone in particular, just remember that's their journey, not yours. That's their pain, their story. It's not yours. And you don't have to make it your pain, your story. Just let it drift by. One analogy I like to use is it's about buses. When you're in a busy bus station and you're waiting for your bus to arrive, or you could be at a bus stop where several buses drive by, you don't get on the first bus that stops, because you know it's not yours. It's not the one that you want to get. You wait for the bus that you want, then you get on to continue your journey. Thoughts are the same. You know, we choose our thoughts, we choose what we want to think, how we want to act and feel. And if we don't want that thought, we don't have to jump on it. We can let it drive on by. Just leave that thought with you, and look forward to having another chat with you soon with another topic from the Re-emerging Earth podcasts. I've been Jeremy Scott. You've been wonderful, attentive listeners. Namaste.